Okay, we're going to do this little box here on the side of this page. So we're practicing reducing. So if I give you something like this, if we end up having our quadratic formula and it ends up with this part, we need to be able to reduce now. We're going to reduce or simplify. We are no longer going to go to decimal. Okay, so we're not going to decimal. So for this one, the 12, right, we see that 12 and it should be shouting at you now saying reduce, simplify me, do not go to decimal. So this is going to be 6 plus or minus. The 12 is 4 times 3, and you're just going to show me that step for now. And I'm hoping you're going to be bored of this, because if at the point where you're like, oh, this is boring, I don't want to write this, that's because you got it, right? So just one more time, we're going to do this for this test, and then you don't have to do it anymore. But you go, okay, so I want to take out that perfect 4. The perfect 4 comes out, right? And that comes out exactly as, make sure you line up your equal signs this way if it goes that way. So you're going to go like this. So you have 6 plus or minus, that'll be 2 root 3 over 2. And then you go, okay, I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by the same amount. So it's a 2, right? So you divide top and bottom by that 2. Or it's like you're dividing each term by 2. So it's up to you. You don't have to put the divide by 2 on the side. But what you're thinking in your head is this. You're dividing the top and the bottom by 2, which means it's both of the whole numbers. Right? So that's what you're picturing in your head. You're dividing top and bottom. So then if I divide that by 2, I'm going to get 3 plus or minus, that's a 1. Root 3, and that's a 1. We never write that, so you can skip that. And as soon as you see that, you're going to go 3 plus or minus root 3. You don't have to show me that. I don't want you ending with a 1 on the bottom. That's bad form, right? It's with any fraction. This one, try it again. Okay, we got 12 plus or minus root 48, so that'll be 12 plus or minus, what's a nice perfect square there? 16, right? Seeing a 16? 16 times 3? Okay? Wait. Is that right? 3, 4, 48. Yes. Stop me if I'm wrong. 16 times 3? Okay, thank you. So 8. And then the 16 is perfectly exactly 4. So you're going to get 12 plus or minus 4, exactly 4, root 3 over 8. Now this one, it doesn't divide in. It won't always divide perfectly in, but you're still doing the same thing. I'm dividing the top and the bottom by the same amount. So in your head, you're thinking divide the top and the bottom by 4. Does that work? You don't have to show this. That's just your brain thinking that part. Divide top and bottom by 4. You don't have to show that part, but some people just go ahead and cancel it, and they do right on it. They go like this. Divide it by 4, divide by 4 like that. So you can do this. You can write it on the side if you want to, but this is what your brain is thinking, and then my answer would be 3 plus or minus, that's a 1, root 3, and that's a 2. And they're not like terms. You can't go any further. That's it. Okay, so from now on, when you see quadratic formula, we are not going to go to decimal anymore. Okay, no more decimal. Right, we're going to go exact. Don't ask me. You know that that's what I want. So unless the question says decimal, we are not going to go to decimal. What's on our next page? All right, so let's go to the next page. Flip over. For this one, same thing. I would like you to solve it. On purpose, I gave you one that if you try to factor it, okay, if you try the 3 and the 4, so if you try here 3x, and then I've got 4 and 1, that will get me 3, 4, 7. Or if I try 4 and 1, that's 12. So it won't get me 2, and then 2 and 2. So there's only a couple tries, so 6, 7, no. 6 with the 2 doesn't work, right? So I tried that, didn't work. Then I'm going to use my quadratic formula. On purpose, I gave you one that works, so that doesn't work. So A, that's your B, and that's your C. You don't have to show that, but that's your brain thinking that. We're going to write down the formula, of course, and the formula must have the variable, so x equals. If you don't have the x equals, I don't know what variable you're solving for. And for future, it's sometimes not even x or a single variable. It might be x squared. It could be x cubed. It could be something else. Okay, so it's not just an x, always. Here, we got this. So this will be negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yes, I want you to write it down, and yes, I want the left side. You will not be writing it down 5,000 times. Okay, you're not going to be writing it down 5,000 times on a test or something, so you can write it down. So when you use it, you need to write down, it's like a title. Okay, let's go. So equals, and then this will be negative, negative 2. You can go right ahead and just make that a positive 2. You don't have to show me negative, negative. Okay, you don't have to show me negative, negative. You can go right and just put the positive 2. That's okay. Plus or minus. And then here, just be careful. When you punch this into your calculator, it's negative 2 squared in a bracket. If you don't put the bracket around it, your calculator doesn't understand that you want to grab the whole base. It just thinks it's the 2 squared, not the negative. So please make sure it's a bracket, and you need to write it with a bracket. So show me that. Minus 4, A is 3, C is 4. Make sure that this is extended to the end. Okay, if you don't extend this to the end, right, it's not clear. It's right. I'm not about neatness. It's about making sure it's clear what you're writing. So I want it extended to the end, and 2 times 3. 2 times 3. So equals, and keep going. So 2 plus or minus, and this is, you can do this whole thing all at once. So I don't need to see steps here. So I don't know what you learned in the previous grades, but this you can go all at once. So you can do the 2 squared, so 4 minus, put that all together. I just need to see this. I don't need to see separate steps to show me this minus this. And then you can erase a bit of this if you want, or you can leave it. It's a bit too long, but that's fine. And then 6. So I don't need to see steps for that. You can go straight to negative 44. From this point, when you see the negative inside of that square root, then you're going to say, therefore, no solution. You don't have to provide an explanation, but I'd like you to say, therefore, no solution. Don't just stop. You have to say, I can't go further. If you just stop, I figure you got confused or you couldn't finish it. So say, therefore, no solution, because you can't square root a negative. There's no roots. So that means that this parabola, right, we've got the possibility of it opening up and then not touching the axis, or opening down, not touching it. So sometimes there's no roots. Any questions with that?